Hello, fellas. I'm just dropping in here to let you guys know that we had our first cinema discussion stream. These are all excerpts from the stream that we had. It was a very fun time. I'm going to have them regularly once a week, every Friday, 1 p.m. EST. That's 10 p.m. Pakistan time. Be sure to follow my Twitch channel so that you can catch those streams. And other than that, yeah, just enjoy the video. I cried watching Good Will Hunting. Oh fuck, Good Will Hunting. Oh, that's a movie I haven't thought about in a long time. I saw this I think I saw this when I was in high school or maybe in university. Like maybe in my first semester of university I saw it. And it was very relevant for me at the time because I mean not the actual plot of it, but the fact that it was set in this academic backdrop, you know, and that was something that I was immediately introduced to as soon as I went into university. It was just the kind of life I was living at the time that I was just being introduced to, and yeah, for that reason this movie kind of resonated with me. I haven't seen this in a long time either. You want to see my watch list, chat? It's been this way for like 5 years. Because, of course, I watch movies from it, but I keep adding movies to it as well. So, it doesn't really go down, it goes up most of the time. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once made me cry a lot. Yeah, I talked about that. I talked about that movie in my what I saw in July YouTube video. Shout out YouTube channel. I think if I see it again, the emotional impact will probably be a lot higher for me the second time around. But the first time I saw it, it didn't really emotionally impact me that much. For whatever reason, I can't really tell you why, because the acting is superb, the writing is also superb, and everything about it is great. The way the scenes are presented, everything is like juxtaposed. Oh fuck. Everything is like juxtaposed, and there's like multiple scenes happening at once, and you know, it's like pretty good. It's pretty fucking good. But the first time I saw it, more of the technical aspects of it really impressed me, to the point where the emotional resonance of the movie didn't really resonate with me that much, which is weird. But yeah, Everything Everywhere was too much for you, honestly. Was too much for you. It's definitely a lot. It's like a 2.5 hour long movie, I think. Like, yeah, it's 2.5 hours and 19 minutes, and it's very fast paced. It does not slow down for a second at all. So that's definitely a lot to take in, and definitely everything happening at the same time in those different dimensions and universes, and how they relate to each other, how they relate to just whatever's going on in the character's mind. It's a lot to think about. It's definitely a lot to think about. But definitely, this is not a movie you see once, chat. This is definitely not a movie you see once. This is definitely a multiple viewing movie. I'm in the silent majority who thinks that this movie, by the same set of directors, Dan Kwan and Daniel, however you pronounce his name, I'm not going to butcher his name. I like I like this movie more than Everything Everywhere All at Once. I really enjoyed this movie, Swiss Army Man. It's from the same set of directors. But if you haven't seen Swiss Army Man, go give it a shot. It's really good. I'm sorry. It's like really good. I really like it. The Perks of Being a Wallflower was Fire Ash when I was in high school. Haven't seen it since then, but Perks of Being a Wallflower. That is a high school movie though. That's the movie I saw in high school as well. And yeah, it's the kind of movie that resonates with you when you're in high school, right? It's very... I feel like I wouldn't like this movie as much if I see it now. Probably. Yeah. I haven't seen it since I was in high school, or maybe like the early years of college, maybe university. But yeah, I'm not going to rewatch it again probably, because I think I won't like it as much. So that's why I'm probably going to keep this movie's good memories in my memories and not taint them by rewatching it. I probably won't like it. Yeah, probably will not. Okay, Moby watched Knives Out. Goal, A Dream Begins, and it was a series. Knives Out. Oh, Knives. I have a funny story about Knives Out. Not a funny story, but like a observation, I guess you could call it. Knives Out was the first time I saw Knives Out. I was trying to follow the story, which is very well written, and I was trying to follow, the ways in which they present the story, and all the threads that they were creating as to who the killer was, who really killed him, who deserves the inheritance, whatever the fuck. So yeah, the first time around I was really invested in the story. But the second time I saw it, because I knew exactly where the story was going, I wasn't paying attention to the story that much, because obviously I knew everything that was going to happen. But that really gave me the emotional space to kind of get invested in the sort of social themes that the movie is depicting, because the original family members are all white, and they got this estate, as is revealed later by Daniel Craig's character. They got it from some Pakistani businessman. Shout out Pakistan. But yeah, all these white people are in the estate, and the main character of Ana de Armas is like this immigrant worker that came here from nothing, and her parents are illegal immigrants, and all these social themes of immigration and racism and everything. Those really those really like shined through for me this time around, because I was not following the story that much, because I didn't need to, obviously. Something I've been meaning to rewatch is Burning. Oh, this movie was so good, so different, so different. Like, it's like the most minimalist movie I have seen, I think. Oh, it was such a beautiful movie. Those of you who read books, I'll be honest, I don't read that many books. I have not read that many books in recent years. I used to be a very much book guy for up until I was like 20, and after that movies kind of took over and I stopped. I mean, I do read books from time to time, but it's been a while since I was a regular reader. But those of you who are regular readers, and if you're into Haruki Murakami, it's based off a short story by Haruki Murakami, and I have not read the short story Barn Burning, which is also right. This is actually what I was going to say. This, I don't know what exactly it is I'm because this is originally a short story by William Faulkner, and there is a version of, there's another version of Barn Burning that is by Haruki Murakami. Now, I don't know if it's just a different version of it, or if it's just a tribute, if it's just a namesake, just a title, and the book is completely different from it, or if it's a tribute, or if it analyzes some of Faulkner's ideas, whatever he portrayed in that book. Like I said, I'm not much of a reader. That might change someday, but for now, movies and video games are my primary media, sadly. But yeah, it's based off of that. And this movie, what I can tell you about the movie is this movie is definitely something that is completely different from your traditional movie. I don't think I've seen anything like it ever since I saw it. It came out in 2018, yeah. And I have not seen anything that portrays something similar in terms of the way the story is portrayed. A lot of the things are very, very implied, and many of the shots portray like significant plot points that if you're not watching it carefully, you might miss it. And many of the way character motivations change through the course of the movie when certain events happen. You can see that character motivation changing in the expressions, like the subtle, very subtle sort of intricacies of the expressions on the actors' faces. And the actors do such a good job of portraying that you know exactly what that character is thinking just through their expressions, like what decision have they made based on a piece of information that they just received. And it does it through such minimal cues. It's just, oh, I definitely want to rewatch this movie whenever I get the chance to. That I was thinking I was gonna look at some of my old reviews, because my reviews, I don't really put a lot of thought into my letterbox reviews, I'll be honest. It's not like it's not like a well thought out critique on a movie or anything. Sometimes I just put in a dialogue from the movie that I liked, and other times when I'm feeling a certain way I can type more. But it was just like, I was just looking through it, it's like fucking it's interesting is what I'll say, I guess. Hardcore Henry. I felt like I was 14 again, and that's literally all I wanted from this experience. Hardcore Henry, for those of you who have not seen Hardcore Henry. Oh, this was such a funny movie. This was such a funny movie because it is the video gamiest movie I have ever seen. It's like an ode to video games, honestly. It's all in first person, and it's an action movie, and it's all in first person as you go from one gunfight to the next, and you jump through you do all this parkour shit, and you jump through, you catch grenades and throw grenades at people and shit. And it's like, and even the characters feel like NPCs. They give like exposition on like how long he has to live, and the main villain is like so goofy. The way early 2000s PS2 games villains were goofy. Oh, this was so good. This brought me back to a time, like I said, I wanted to feel like I was 14 again, and this brought me back to the time when I was a teenager and played all those video games. Oh, it was such a good experience. I really liked it. Oh, Shia LaBeouf. This is a really good movie. I mean, say what you will about Shia LaBeouf. What is Shia LaBeouf up to these days? Is he cancelled? He did something weird. I know he did something weird in recent years, but I don't remember what it is. But he directed this film and he starred in it as well. And it's an autobiographical movie based on he plays his dad in this movie. He plays his father, basically, in this movie. And he portrays him extremely well. I mean, I don't know what his father really was like, obviously, but the way it's depicted is a very abusive relationship, in a way where, the father is also a very damaged person, and obviously a product of the way he was brought up. A product of the way the father was brought up, and that sort of led to this cycle of abuse. So you understand the father character, obviously, but obviously it's a very abusive relationship. And since it's autobiographical, obviously it's a very personal movie. So definitely it's a very good movie. Lucas fucking Hedges is in this movie, who generally I do not like. I do not like Lucas Hedges. He gets all these Oscar bait movies. Well, I don't want to call them Oscar bait, because even though they are Oscar bait, obviously, they're still very well made, and they portray good actors and well written characters. They're well shot, whatever. I mean, they're good movies, but they're still Oscar bait. But he gets to be in all these movies, and oftentimes he's like the weakest. Oftentimes he's like the weakest part of all of those movies. But in this movie, he plays basically plays Shia LaBeouf's character, the child star, the actor, Shia LaBeouf. Basically, he plays his character. And he does a very good job in this movie. He does a very good job. And I really like this movie. It's definitely very sad, obviously. The story of a child star attempting to mend his relationship with his law-breaking, alcohol-abusing father over the course of a decade, loosely based on Shia LaBeouf's life. Yeah, this is definitely a good one to watch. If you're in the mood for a... I mean, it's a drama. A very, very depressing movie, but very well made, very well acted, very well written, very personal, very emotional. Yeah, I would highly recommend it. It's very good.
Nazi redneck assholes, fuck off! Get out of here! I'm better than the bouncer! Yeah, I'm trying to be police, you hate the cops, it ain't okay! Nazi bucks!